Buddy. Good. Well, you know, we've had a couple good days. It's been a nice week weather-wise. It's nice and cool outside. Players seem to have a little more energy and enthusiasm out there, which is good. The focus has been on improvement. You know, the question that I ask after practice today is, you know, what does it really mean to improve? You know, successful people have a burning desire to always want to be the best they can be, almost an addiction to continue to improve. And, you know, this is an opportunity for us to take a step forward, to see if we can improve on last week's performance in some areas that we'd like to, and play to a standard that we have talked about, you know, all year. And, you know, some great teams, whether it's Chicago Bulls, the Yankees, Patriots, when they were doing good, you know, they had a standard, they played to it, they won a lot of games for a long time, and it's difficult to do, but it takes everybody committed to being the best they can be all the time, and that's certainly what, you know, the challenge is for us and for what our team needs to do. You know, this will be a physical game that we're playing in. It's going to be away. Tennessee game is always a physical game, and, you know, I think that our players have to have a better focus on being able to execute and focus and not be affected by external factors that are going on around them. We've played a little better at home than we have on the road, and this is an opportunity for us to sort of show that, you know, we can play with focus and intensity and execute in a very difficult environment against a good team, you know, on the road. So that's basically what we're trying to get accomplished this week. Injury-wise, you know, DJ Fluker has practiced a little bit. Still would be very questionable for this game. Eddie Lacy practiced a little bit. He still would be questionable for this game. Everybody else has practiced a lot, and barring something happening, I would hope that everybody would be able to play.
Coach, on Monday, Marcell Dareus talked about how when he watches Julio Jones practice, he works so hard that it makes him want to work hard. Can you talk about how special it is to have a player on the team like Julio Jones?
Well, you know, Julio is a, you know, special guy. When it comes to his work ethic and how he pushes himself every day in practice, I think all the things that I talked about before about having burning desire to succeed and be the best, he certainly has demonstrated, you know, on a pretty consistent basis, you know, that kind of work ethic, those kind of habits. He's really a good person, tries to do the right things all the time, and I think has been pretty successful, you know, in his career, and he sets a great example for the people around him. And I think his presence does affect other people, and I think it's great when you have guys that are the good players on your team that are those kind of people. I think that's the kind of example that you want for your younger players to emulate.
Coach, Wes Bowling, WVLT in Knoxville, Tennessee. Can you characterize your relationship with Derek Dooley and what it means to be playing in a big game but playing against him at the same time?
Well, you know, there's a personal side to all this, and then there's a professional side to it. And, you know, Derek's family, his wife, his children were with us for 7 years, and he did a fantastic job for us, very close to his mom and dad and his entire family. And so there's a personal side to it that we're going to be good friends for the rest of my life, and it has nothing to do with how you compete in the football game. Now, the football game is very, very important. It's important to Tennessee. It's important to Alabama. It's important to their fans, our fans, their program, our program. So, but that's aside from personal relationships, and you know, we're happy to see him have a great opportunity, and I know he'll do a great job at the University of Tennessee. And it's going to be a very challenging game for us because they're a very well-coached team right now, and they play hard, play with a lot of discipline and a lot of toughness, and we just have a lot of respect for him and his family, and none of that's going to change based on an outcome of a football game.
Coach, Alabama released the 2011 schedule today with your alma mater, Kent State, as a season opener. Can you just comment on how you'll feel personally about having hosting Kent State here?
I knew somebody would ask that. Well, I think it's good for us to be able to get a Mid-American opponent. The Mid-American Conference is a really good football conference, I think. There's been a lot of good players, a lot of good coaches come out of that league for a long, long time, and they have their own tradition, and I coached in that league and played in that league, so I have a tremendous amount of respect for Kent State and the Mid-American Conference. So it's a good opportunity for their players, and it'll certainly be a good opportunity and a challenge for us, and we're looking forward to it. We didn't schedule the game because it was my alma mater. We had a tough time getting a game because we lost a game that we had previously scheduled. These old contracts that people have, I probably shouldn't be commenting on, but people are willing to give them more, so they take more and dump you.
Coach Saban, you've mentioned the last 3 times on the road in the SEC has been slow starts for you, and is there, the stock answer is not ready to play. Is there really any not ready to play, or is there any way you can identify that or change that?
Well, I think, if you understand anything about maturity, I don't know, people that have children, you have young players, they get distracted more easily. Young children get distracted more easily. Adolescents have a tougher time focusing than, there's a big difference between an 18, 19, 20-year-old than there is a 22 and a 23-year-old. It's also a big difference in a guy that's been there before and done it before and played on the road and knows how to do it. And, some of these things you have to learn how to do. It's just not inherent that you can go do this as the first guy that time you ever started or whatever. And we have, a lot of young guys playing, and we have a lot of new starters, especially on defense. But, and we need to be able to, take the next step of being able to play on the road with consistency and perform well. And, it's a challenge. And I don't think it's about being ready to play. We don't prepare them to play any different when we play at home than when we play away. I think it's a difference in their ability to focus on the things that they've been prepared to do, relatively speaking, and that's something that we got to get better at, and players have to realize that, and I think they learn lessons from it, and hopefully we'll grow and do better this time. All right.